Welcome, and thank you for joining us on This Week in the Valley. Our show features people and events that are making a difference where we live, right here in North Missouri. I'm Donna Bell.
And I'm Darren Elazars. We have an exciting show for you. And joining us a bit later are Jamie Capps and Scott Morris with more on Chariton Valley's new cell phone repair service, Gene Jones with volunteering in the Valley, and Chariton Valley's Valentine Couple of the Year.
This is one of the sweetest, most romantic times of the year, the week before Valentine's Day. It's a time when people around the world plot unique and special ways to express their feelings of love, affection, and friendship.
It is celebrated in many ways. Some take their loved ones to their favorite restaurant or surprise them with a beautiful bouquet of flowers or chocolates. These are romantic and thoughtful, but we found a few unique ways to celebrate Valentine's Day we'd like to share.
Make your own Valentine's card that expresses your love in your own words. Cook him or her their favorite meal. A candlelit home-cooked dinner is simply unforgettable. Make a CD of his or her favorite songs.
Spend quality time together with no TV. Create a scrapbook and fill it with love letters, photographs, and cherished mementos. Text sweet love quotes periodically throughout the day. Give a potted plant that will last for months or even years.
Find your favorite picture of the two of you together from days gone by, have it enlarged and framed. Or take a walk down memory lane. Pull out some of those old photo albums and flip through them together.
Let your imagination flow. Make your Valentine's Day memorable for both of you. And remember, your Valentine's Day gift to your beloved need not be expensive, but it should be straight from the heart.
Our first guests have shared many Valentine's Days together, at least 57. As we celebrate the sweetest week of the year, we also celebrate the love of Chariton Valley's 2015 Valentine's Couple of the Year, Marilyn and Frank Williams of Buckland.
They married the same year Buddy Holly and the Crickets record That'll Be the Day. Mickey Mantle hits his career home run number 200. Walter Cronkite begins hosting his weekly documentary, and Elvis Presley makes his 7th and final appearance on Ed Sullivan's show. Let's meet Marilyn and Frank.
I couldn't get along without her. She looks after me pretty well.
I thought sure he would say I was a good cook, but he didn't mention that.
Well, yes, I don't have to mention that. We were stringing wire for the phones, and here this car came down the hill throwing gravel and slid up to a stop, and she says, "I'm in a hurry, I'm late for work, and I'm out of gas."
I was coming down the road. I could see the construction part of it, and there was some workers, and they must have seen me coming, so they kind of moved up on the bank, and and this guy, a tall, thin guy, stepped out, and I had to swerve, and that's when he got the gravel.
I saw her later in the restaurant, and I asked her, I said, "Were you the person that about run over me when we was out there on the hill?" And she said, "Yeah, I was."
He came out by the house one day doing whatever they done, pulling the poles or stringing the wire, and my dad spied them, and his pole light had just went out. So anyway, he hollered at one of them, "Hey, could you come and maybe put the bulb in?" And so Frank came, and he kind of drawed his words, and boy, yeah, he said, "I worked for Kansas City Power and Light, and I was a lineman there for a while." So he climbed up the pole and put the light in, or the light bulb in, and that made my dad happy, and they visited. And so then the next time I met him, he was back out again one Saturday morning, and we was getting ready to go to Boonville, and he came over and was talking again, and so Dad said, "Well, we're in a hurry. We're going to go to Boonville today. We're thinking about buying an Angus bull, and Marilyn's going to drive." No, he said, "And we're going to Boonville." And Frank said, "Well, is she driving you?" So that was always comical, and the boys gets a big kick out of it. But anyway, gradually we met, and he asked me for a date to go to the drive-in, and so I went with him. And then a lot of evenings he'd come out and sat in the yard, and Mom had a bunch of black cattle, and later we found out that Frank he loved his black cattle. So and then "How many times did you take me down to Tipton?" And I met your folks, and
Twice, I think.
so I met his cronies, and it just kind of gradually turned into liking one another and having a good time together, and so. Oh yeah, we went quite a few places dating. He would take me down around the lake, and he was from down around California and Tipton, and we loved the Ozarks, and we would go down there, and we liked rodeos, or he liked rodeos, so we went a number of times to rodeos, and I kind of went along with him at the beginning, and then he had to go where I wanted to go. we went to the movie, we ate out, we had friends that we would double date with. We either went with couples, and we went dancing some, and but mostly it was after we got married, it was just getting together with our friends, and they would come over and play cards, and that turned into a friendship of 50 years of being together for New Year's. And then we lost some of our buddies, and so, and we still meet at New Year's and play cards and visit. And it's mostly reminiscing, you know.
Yeah.
And later on, it was getting close for him to go back to Tipton. His job would end. He mentioned something about keeping in touch and maybe going back and forth. And Christmas was coming, so he drove up one before Christmas, and he gave me a diamond. And before that, he had been kind of talking a diamond ring, and I said, well, I really like a solitaire, you know. So anyway, he brought me up a solitaire, but he was thinking that we should get married, but he didn't really have a steady job, and so we set it for May. And so
well, I went back home and got a call one day. They wanted to know if I'd come up here and go to work for the company. And I more or less agreed to. It was paying a little more than a regular job was. So I came up and went to work for them, and was there ever since till I retired, I guess.
And that was Chariton Valley.
Yeah.
So. And what was your position as you came up?
Construction foreman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he hired a few local boys around here, and so we've all became friends, and Frank didn't get to go back to Tipton, however. He asked me for a date about in May, and the next May we was married, May the 24th, and so we found us a house to rent. Oh, our wedding day was a pretty day. It was May the 24th, and the weather couldn't have been better, and we was going to be married that evening in the Methodist church. And my brother and my best friend, Onita Wolf, they stood up with us. And I got out there, and my Uncle Bud come running in. I had forgot my flowers, my roses. And then after that, we went back out. We just had a small wedding, and then we went back out to my folks for the reception. We went over around Brookville, and he was going to take me over in Kansas for our honeymoon. So we got there and got back, and however, I wanted to stop to see Jesse James Museum, but we didn't do that, so.
Well, we had 3 kids together, 2 boys and 1 girl. 6 grandkids?
Yeah, the 4 boys and 2 girls.
Great grandkids, so we got them too.
We got 3 boys and 2 girls, and our boys lives close to us, and although our grandkids has kind of moved out of state, our daughter teaches over in Macon, Karen Hawkins.
We've been pretty fortunate on raising our family. They've all been healthy and everything.
And we've had good times. Frank, about 20 years ago, he was reading in the Legion book that the Hazelwood was going to have a reunion in St. Louis.
That was the ship I was on.
Yeah, the Hazelwood. So he got to see his shipmates after all them years, and we still go. We're going to, if we're able, we're going to Norfolk, Virginia in April. And they have their reunion every April because...
2 years, every 2 years.
And why do you go on the 29th of April?
That's when we were kamikazed.
So we've enjoyed, we've went to California, to Baton Rouge, to Boston, to Pittsburgh. We have really enjoyed that, and that's been over a period of 20 years. So and he didn't think he would know any one of his shipmates, but they walked in, and one guy said, "Well, hello, Willie," and Frank said, "Well, how are you doing, sweet?" But they knew each other instantly.
Yeah,
so.
I recognized him right off.
Yeah. How did we handle the rough times, Frank?
Oh, well, she done very well. I mean, we made it through them all good. We done all right. She looked after us, and we done pretty well.
It's kind of like I said, you know, we really didn't have a lot of rough times. Our children as well. Our health was good. We have our parents, and we just kind of coasted along.
Yeah. Pretty fortunate.
And we finally built the house out here, and we've just had a good life. He had a good job, and I had a good job. So basically, the bad times, we had our parents to kind of help us along, which they did. And we had the boys here, and they help him today with his cattle, or he couldn't do it. So
no.
So that's like I say, not too many hard times. We never was apart, and our boys never went to service, but they got good jobs, and my daughter, she comes over and cleans my house once in a while, so we're very fortunate. No, we got along very well together, and our life went by quickly, but so we wasn't maybe an exciting couple. Yeah. Well, my advice was to be, I know the marriages is different than what we had, probably what our grandparents and parents had, but seemed like there wasn't too many divorces, and whether you really liked each other or not, you stayed together and just worked together and raise your kids and go to a lot of ball games, and so but I do kind of feel sorry for them. They're pressured in school, to my opinion, and college, and the times are bad. So just stay in there. If you meet someone you love and can see a future with them, why, hang in there. But we still cling to our friends that we made together through Chariton Valley. So they'll probably either cook us an anniversary party, or we'll go to a show or do something together. So, but the day will come and probably go, and we'll enjoy it. And it's 58 years is a long time when you say it, but it went by quickly. Yeah. And I think we really had the best of times to marry and to live in. It wasn't, you know, their wages wasn't high, but neither was anything else. So we had a good time together. Yeah.
Sometimes it gets a little rough, but we make it all right.
Like I say, we've always lived here. We've always took part in the community, and we worked together with the church and with the homecoming, and you know, we basically was just one big happy family, and so many of the ones we run with now, they'll be getting, you know, they've been married a little longer than Frank and I, and so none of us ever divorced. So that was a hard act to follow, so we followed it. No, he was always quiet and easy to get along with. He never, you know, he was a nice guy. Well, like I say, Frank, he was probably at the wrong place at the wrong time when I threw that gravel on you.
Yeah, probably so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you want to try to smooch with me or hug me, or you just want to hug me a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's about all he's going to do.